Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, thank you to the organizers of the Africa Mining Summit 2020, GRV Global, for inviting me to deliver the keynote address during the sixth session of the conference on financing mining projects in Africa today. It is a very relevant topic in these COVID-19 affected times where Africa needs stimulus for economic recovery. I'll make reference to this topic later in my address. Secondly, the conference is taking place under unusual circumstances, being a virtual conference, as has most likely been highlighted by previous speakers. I do believe that the occurrence of the conference is a sentiment of hope amongst the conference participants that humanity will prevail over this virus. A post-virus world is possible, be it with a vaccine or a new normal world where we learn to live with the virus, which we have proven possible. So I was intrigued by the theme of the conference, entitled Energy in Mining, Chicken or Egg? The Truth, Misdirection and Religion in the Pursuit of a Greener Energized World. It is an important theme for us at Exxaro. Firstly, given that our primary business is thermal coal production and supply to domestic and offshore markets. And secondly, our strategy is premised on a just energy transition to a lower carbon world, where economies and livelihoods will be dependent on predominantly green energy, such as wind, solar, hydropower, and nuclear, to name a few. This will be the context of our future for investment. So what is a greener energized world or low carbon world? It is rather self-explanatory, but let me take my chances at a definition. Given the dominance of renewable forms of energy envisaged, energy generation will be much less from fossil fuel sources such as coal, oil, and to a degree gas for economic development, and we will also have an improved capability in this world to absorb any carbon generated. This new world is coming at us at quite a rapid pace, and there will be no place to hide, including in Africa. Whilst the conference theme refers to truths, misdirection, and religion, at Exxaro we have taken the time to investigate and understand the possibilities in this world and determine the truth for ourselves. We have been developing our leaders and leadership philosophy that will provide the required direction for the company into the future, given the uncertainty and ambiguity of the transition. Rather than follow blind faith, we have developed a strength of conviction in our strategies based on our insights and the evidence we have observed for the need to transform and transition to a low carbon world. A critical aspect of this transformation and transition is embarking on this journey together with our stakeholders, especially the communities who depend on the coal mining value chain for employment, enterprise and supply development, and social investment opportunities. We aim to ensure that stakeholders are better off because of this transition through co-investing with like-minded partners in community benefit projects at scale for sustainability and impact. This new world environment is shaping the capital markets and how capital is allocated. Therefore, investments in mining will no longer be based only on payback periods and ROI. Whilst these criteria remain relevant, other criteria are also influencing investment decisions. Investors are equally concerned for both the usual financial returns as well as the non-financial criteria referred to as ESG when investing capital. This change is driven by the growing and universal concern for systemic risks embedded in investment portfolios, such as climate change and more recently COVID-19 and their impact on humanity. Climate change is not an environmental issue despite its manifestation, but a systemic issue with cross-cutting impacts. The potential and most likely increase in global average temperatures by 2 degrees Celsius and by as much as 5 to 6 degrees Celsius in some African regions is a reality that we must address as a collective and at every opportunity we have to maintain average temperature increases below 2 degrees Celsius. In addition, the prevailing event of the COVID-19 pandemic has presented a further and cumulative negative impact on our lives and livelihoods. The pandemic has highlighted the need for greater focus on social parity and the gap between rich and poor. These are systemic challenges that need collective leadership with a vision for a future where all humanity will thrive, the courage to take the necessary actions to reach this future, and to harness the necessary resources and relationships to act selflessly for the benefit of community. These leadership characteristics are key to achieving the ESG goals as expected from investors for the purpose of allocating capital, as well as addressing the needs and expectations of other stakeholders. Key considerations for ESG, which stands for environment, social and governance, in relation to mining requires attention to the following material issues. From an environmental perspective, the material issues are water, or water efficiency, carbon emissions, energy usage, and biodiversity. Material social issues are employee safety and health, and in this case, it provides for a coherent response to COVID-19 whilst we await a vaccine. Human rights issues, community investment and development. And in terms of governance, leadership in risk management, anti-corruption, board diversity, and executive remuneration. Combined, these issues create the path for sustainable business that stands a better chance of survival in the new world. ESG issues are the new terms of engagement and investment for mine development. I can share with you that Exxaro's ESG performance, as measured by the FTSE Russell ESG Index for JSE listed companies, has shown encouraging improvement over the past 4 years, reaching an aggregate ESG score of 4 out of 5 in an index of global coal peers. Without a clear demonstration of an understanding for these terms, mining projects in Africa will continue to be a potential catalyst rather than the driver of socio-economic development. At this point, let me also mention the lost opportunities beyond mining if mining investment is foregone due to a poor implementation of ESG considerations. The impact of mining is not only during operation, but also when mining has ceased and mining succession opportunities are available for continuing economic development. These economic succession opportunities can take various forms that can continue to sustain communities and contribute to national and regional economies. And some of them include agriculture, and alongside mining, these are complementary activities, despite potential conflicts of land which may arise at times. However, as mining activities decline and mines approach closure, the rehabilitated land that becomes available can be used for a varied range of large-scale agricultural activities and using available technology and innovative approaches. Another example is generation of renewable energy. Deep-level gold and platinum mines, such as found in South Africa, are suitable for underground pumped hydroelectric storage, or UPES, making use of the vertical height of the mine between an upper and a lower reservoir, together with pumps and turbines to generate hydroelectric energy. And one of my favorites, the tourist attractions and multi-purpose facilities can be developed. There are several examples from around the world where prior mining locations have been repurposed to locations for leisure activities. Some of these include the Eden Project, which is a good example of a mine transformed from a pit to paradise in Cornwall in the United Kingdom. It was previously a clay pit, but now consists of diverse tourist attraction activities. Another favorite of mine is the Butchered Gardens, also referred to as the Sunken Garden in Canada, which was once the location of a limestone quarry and is now one of the most beautiful gardens and designated a National Historic Site of Canada, attracting over 1 million visitors a year. So ESG offers opportunities for innovation, both during mine development and post-mining, through economic succession planning principles incorporated into the design and investment in mining. Thus, the long-term viability of communities affected by mining operations is ensured by creating mines that serve as real catalysts and drivers of new economies. This is an imperative to also demonstrate that the mining industry can make a contribution to achieving the objectives of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the UN SDGs. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, these are not mere noble intentions that I'm referring to, but real actions which can be achieved with the cooperation and collaboration of the leaders and people that make up the mining industry in Africa and the world. Social stability in our mining communities and beyond, and the experience of equitable benefit sharing with mining affected people should be amongst the critical measures of success for us. I invite you all to help achieve this bold vision to benefit ours and future generations. Thank you.